All right, before I don't get this information out, I'm getting it out right now because it's very important. I should be making reports of people using this material for you so that you would understand what has happened in their life within the next 2 months. And here it is. This is what we want to happen in your life. For you to ingest spirulina, kelp, dulse, blue-green algae, Polycervacea Saccharomyces yeast that grows on top of flowers that bees eat to make pollen and honey. Polycervacea Saccharomyces yeast, otherwise known as nutritional yeast, but it could be grown on a culture of doo-doo, pig doo-doo even, cow or human from what I hear. And so certain cultures can grow this yeast and harvest it from dung. That is not where the flower produces the yeast that we eat. God willing, you will only purchase and find in the marketplace today by accident and on purpose. If you're on purpose, more chances that you will not get a garbage Saccharomyces yeast called nutritional yeast. You know, that yellow brewer's yeast it's called sometimes, but then there's also brewer's yeast out there in packages that is brown, and it is not nutritional yeast. That's yellow. That is named Polycervacea Saccharomyces yeast that grows on top of flowers. That's harvested for you and I, as well as bee pollen is there also, but it's not as dimulcent, if that's the word. It's not as able to be broken down on the top of your tongue and enjoyed and experienced as food as readily, unless it's nutritional Polycervacea yeast. It's some kind of other yeast. I just know the names, I don't know everything about them, but I do know this, that our body requires the colors, which are vitamins, which I tend not to even use the word vitamin. We are vital components to a lion if he eats us and gets everything in us that he would need. But they'll test your blood and say, oh, you don't have this, you're low. Well, it's because it's stored in your muscle that's hardening and tight. When the lion eats that muscle, he'll get those nutrients, you believe me or not. When we eat a pear, we'll get them too, if they're there and not radiated and canned. So we need foods like this, chlorella, that have never been touched, untouched, harvested from the earth, spirulina, kelp, blue-green algae, Polycervacea Saccharomyces yeast, dried beets, that whole beet dried into a powder. Can you believe it? That you can swallow with orange juice and apple juice with your spirulina and chlorella and dulse. So I beg of you to go to herbdoc.com and read the Incurables program and every plant that participates in becoming a part of his conglomerated herbal plants. Over 170, I'm sure you'll find in the Incurables program. Spirulina, dulse, kelp, blue-green algae, right? Aloe, Cape aloe, Barbadenzia aloe, Cascara sagrada, senna leaves and pods, Oregon grapefruit, senna. Oh, what an interesting plant itself. Oregon grapefruit, charcoal, apple pectin, bentonite clay, and we can skip apple pectin and put in marshmallow root and licorice root and licorice plant. Incredible. As we mix these in a powder with cacao powder and vanilla bean, it is a delicious, not a protein made of Polycervacea Saccharomyces yeast only, but that is still delicious on your food. Not a protein made of protein powder of what? Some cyanocobalamin mixture with deedle-deedle-dee. That's not food. It doesn't taste right. If you don't enjoy it, it needs to be an herb that's bitter that you will enjoy once it hits the stomach. Remember, it's bitter at taste, but sweet to the bones, sweet to the organs. The bitter herbs of yellow dock and burdock root. Ooh, bitter going down, but when they get down there, sweet to the soul. Oh, they move your lymph and your blood out of cavities and your liver and your digestive tract and your urinary system. Moving sludge and waste materials out of the body is the way that herbs sweetly treat you. All right, let's get on them.